right, folks, back here with the Rec Division recap. Currently, the Pro Playoffs just started out there.
Yep.
They're playing the 1-8 game right now between Puck Buddies and Snake Eyes.
Yep.
So we got a crew refereeing down there and a score as well too. So we thought we'd get here and take care of the Rec recaps. All 5 Rec games are in the books as we speak out there. First game, Babylon Warriors going against License to Thrill. I'm not sure who if their goalie could make it. Jason Walk for License to Thrill wasn't feeling well, but he was a last minute. He could play a last minute in. He was active. Otherwise, Kenta or Jason would have been in the goal for them. Yep. Going at the first 2 periods, you were wondering, could this be an upset here? Because it was 0-0.
0-0, yeah.
And you go third period. But then again, a typical Babylon Warriors fashion, they find a couple of goals. They actually they didn't outplay L2T, and they won the game 2-0. Another shot for Roderick. I believe it's back-to-back shots for Roderick, if I recall correctly. Your thoughts on that game? What you saw?
Yeah, I think you said it. Babylon Warriors look primed for another upset there, but they credit to them. They battled back. They got the 2 goals to get the win. I think it's a key win against after falling to the Greenback Boogies last week. I think this was a key win for them.
Psychologically, absolutely.
Yeah, and so credit to them for getting it. Credit to L2T for battling Babylon Warriors very hard, and for not getting down. When. The first goal, I don't feel like they got down on themselves. I felt like they continued to fight, and then the second goal is just unfortunate how it happens. But
absolutely, and you know what? Let's give credit to L2T because the Babylon Warriors won this game.
Yeah.
L2T. Someone told me earlier that look at goals allowed. They're the 3rd best team in rec in goals allowed, so they're hard to score against.
Yeah.
And Jason Brock's playing well. They have good defense as well too. They have a tough time scoring goals right now. But the Warriors had to battle a tough defense, tough goalie.
They really had to grind it out.
They deserved that goal. Exactly. They won that game. Congratulations there as well too. Second game on the tab had Scabs going against the Street Sharks.
Yep.
A game that on paper, Sharks are playing well in the top 4, if I recall correctly, standing-wise. Going against Scabs, who are currently the bottom part of the division. And look what happens. Charlene Howard shows up, assistant captain's there.
Yeah.
Key player. She had a goal and 2 assists. Had her hand in all 3 goals, played very, very well. John Romps had the first 8 shots of the game with the first 60 seconds. Gave up 1 goal, but held the fort down. And the Scabs play the way they usually do, goaltending and defense. Got timely goals. They upset the Street Sharks 3-1. Your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, John Romps uncharacteristically giving up an early goal there, but the Scabs were able to rebound and able to fight back and get the win. The thing I was watching the game from upstairs actually. The thing I saw with the Street Sharks was defensively, many times they had their defenders almost to their own pink line when they were in the offensive zone, and that negates it. Now you're playing 3-on-5, and that's not a recipe for success. So Street Sharks needed to do a better job of putting their defenders up at that pink line at the offensive zone to keep the puck in, because if you're not able to keep the puck in, then it's not doing you any good.
Excellent point. So maybe the Street Sharks look into, apparently there's a flaw in their design. The defense are too far back to hold the zone. Yeah. As a result, it may have cost them possession time in their zone out there. Good point there overall. Yeah. Sharks, they've lost a couple of games now, if I recall correctly. They had a good start. Again, I think this game shows that the Rec is basically parity personified.
Absolutely.
Anything can happen in the Rec. We saw that with the Street Sharks losing this time around to the Scabs, who, when they had their players, they had Mike Sullivan today. He's a good scorer. Carlos had a goal, I believe, if I recall correctly. Charlene played well. Charlene's a good factor as well too. If they're they could beat anybody. Let's be honest here.
Well, that's the story of any team, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So it's fun Rec division overall. Scabs, congratulations to them. They've been on a little download. They got the win, 3-1 over the Street Sharks.
And they're going against the Greenback Boogies next week.
Okay. There you go. It should be a good game. John Romps going against Andrew Kramer, always a biller out there.
Yep.
And of course, we talked about Jason Sticko as well too. Going to be up there as well, and Daniel Rubik as well too. So
maybe I might not be there for their game.
Oh, okay. So there you go.
I'm going to try and make my way to Chicago for the Blackhawks Penguins game at Soldier Field
on Sunday.
On Saturday, but we won't be. Our games are an early game, so we might not be able to make it back because we're driving. So.
Okay, there you go. Up there for you. So you can game plan around just not being there. It's a very, very big scratch there, potentially for the Boogies out there. All right, we go.
Don't you patronize me.
We go to the next game. Next game we had. What was your game? The Boogies.
Yep.
Going against a pretty pesky Two Jacks No Coke team, if I recall correctly, who had a debut on the rec side for Lucy Myers, Chrissy Manfrey, and
Victor Conspiracy. I'm calling conspiracy. They swear to me that it was not planned and it was merely a coincidence.
And I can vouch for that.
My old team's facing my new team, and they happen to have their 3 best players show back up. Yeah, Fitzroy Morrison there back, Lucy Myers back playing
Chrissy Manfrey back.
Kieran, who was not able to play last week, I think due to injury, was back again. So they really played us tough.
They did. You guys actually were outshot, were you not, in this game?
Yeah, we were outshot by a large
so
margin.
It tells you, obviously Joe played well again.
Right.
So I mean, this is a very stunning fact. You gotta go back in there. How many times you go back to the last 3 or 4 games, had the Two Jacks had got 6 shots, 4 shots on goal. They had like 25, 30 shots on goal for, which is unusual for Two Jacks to It shows how important players like Lucy Myers, Kieran is,
like Fitz,
Chris Fitz. Yeah, they create offense, get chances as well too. So
yeah, I mean. The Boogies defensively the last 2 weeks
have not been good.
We have not done as well of a job as we could. At the same time, we faced the Warriors, and then we faced in my opinion, a stacked Two Jacks No Coke team. So, as captain, I'm not too concerned with us defensively. I think we definitely have to shore some things up, but I think we will moving forward. But again, yeah, that was just a very tough game. I'm glad we were able to come away with the win, but definitely. Again, as a captain, a lot of teaching points in that game.
Absolutely, absolutely. In the next game, fourth game on the tap here, we had, I can't recall the game much we have out there overall. The third game on tap was the Stingrays.
There you go.
Now Stingrays going against
the
killing time here.
Yeah, right.
Stingrays going against the Untouchables.
Yeah, Untouchables.
Good game,
been a long day, folks. The record skips in my head.
Yeah, we've been here since 12 o'clock, so we're getting to 11 o'clock anyway. So it gets long for us, but a good game as well, too. Dean Eastlake was there.
Absolutely.
John Grabowski, the Untouchable star, was not there. Disclaimer there. So a good game. Scott Lynn, I hope to hear from you tomorrow morning on the Steve Zabin Show, because I'm going to be tuning in to see how you describe your goal to score today against the Untouchables. But if you are a Scott Lynn fan, Steve Zabin Show in the mornings, he's on there. So tune in tomorrow to see what Scott says about his own goal he scored out there. Hopefully Steve will ask him, and hopefully Scott will give him an answer.
It was a good goal. Happy birthday to Scott. He celebrated his birthday earlier this week, so it's a good little self-present.
Birthday present as well, too. Exactly.
Yeah, self-present. But good goal by Scott, and a couple good goals by Dean Eastlake. I mean, we've said it before, I'll say it again. He is a game changer for the Stingrays, and when he shows up, they are about as competitive as any team you'll find in red.
Absolutely. Back and forth game. A very unusual thing occurred in that game. Something that it rarely happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had a 5-minute major called, but the referee chose not to give him the game misconduct. It was a roughing call. It was judged by the official. From what I understood, that the player, there was some intent involved. As a result of this intent involved, the referees have discretion to call a major penalty, which they chose to do. So a 5-minute major penalty resulted in a power play goal, a game-tying goal, and it being a 3-3 tie. Your thoughts on what happened or what may have happened out there?
That was a very unusual sequence, and if you watch the broadcast, you'll see me comment, or you'll hear me rather comment on it. Breakaway opportunity for Untouchables. Stingrays player, or it might be vice versa. Again, record in my head.
It was Untouchables.
Yeah. They collide right before the player can get a shot off on net. So initially you think that there's a penalty shot going to be awarded, but they actually award a 5-minute major.
From what I was told, the rule that it was not a clear-cut breakaway, but there was intent in the rush.
Not so much a breakaway, but it was definitely a rush because the defender was on his tail. So, but right after that happens, it carries over to the next period. And then a penalty on the Untouchables.
Untouchables to make take away some power play time.
So it's
4-on-4 for a while.
5-minute major, then go to 4-on-4, and then Untouchables go full strength, and they're still on the power play.
Yes.
So just a very unusual sequence of events that happen. You hardly ever see that. And you hardly ever see a 5-minute major. You hardly ever see 4-on-4, and we saw both in the span of like 5 minutes. So
exactly,
just very unusual. But
go watch the videotape to see. Again, the referees rule that was intent involved. It'll be reviewed by the referee commission and by the board as well too, league office as well too. But it was actually a pretty good game.
Yeah.
And give credit to the player. Did not argue. He questioned the call. He asked for explanation. It was given to him. We moved on. That's the way it's supposed to be. The referees thought stay in the games, and he stayed in the game as well.
And especially with a call like that, I think you need a little extra clarification from the officials. goals because, again, 5-minute major is very rare in this league.
Exactly, exactly. So a good tie, 3-3 tie for the Stingrays as well. Untouchables, disappointed they didn't get the win, but again, a good tie for both two good teams out there.
Yeah.
Now to the last game of the night for the rec division. It was a doozy, 4-4 tie between the Moose Assassins and 5-minute major. Again, the 5-minute major actually took the lead and just could not hold on. Had a 2-goal lead twice. Could not hold on. Final score 4-4. Good job by the Untouchables. Cristo battling back. There was a controversial call this game. I refereed the game as well too. Before the score was 4-3. Late mid-third period out there. Actually, was it mid-third? Yeah, it was mid-third period.
Yeah, it was around mid-third period.
Shot from the point. Cristo jumped up in the crease area, and from my vantage point, waved his hand, which he did, and then he touched the ball. So it came down to the ball went in. The question was, one, did he touch the ball, and two, was that shot getting moved off if he did touch the ball out there? So we had a discussion, and since it's my judgment call, I ruled that you touched the ball. As a result, the rule on the rule book is if you wave at the ball, you touch it, it's the waving motion, goal gets waved off. So it's a close call, goal waved off. Your opinion, good call, bad call?
I mean, I just think it's a call you have to make. If you have the vantage point as a referee, you can't. I don't know. In that situation, that close of a call, I think you err on the side of no goal.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. People will disagree, I'm sure, vehemently on Facebook. But yeah, it's a tough call, and you know what, people. There's no like bias here with the referees. Like they make the call that they have to make. So. I mean, I don't understand how some people can say like, oh, there's a conspiracy brewing or something like that. I'm not saying anyone said that, but I'm just saying that those I understand why those thoughts would enter into somebody's mind. But it's a call I think you have to make, and the hockey gods answered, and the Moose Assassins were able to tie it up. So
and you're right. The first, it's a tough call to make because it's a 4-3 game, it's a tying goal. You hate to wave it off as a referee, but you got to call the game as it is. Whether it's 1-0, 5-0, you got to call the way it is out there. But like I said earlier, they got a power play later on. At the end of the game, they're able to tie it up anyway, 4-4.
I will say, not the most unusual batting attempt. We had a player on the Street Sharks, I think it was Mike Ashley, I could be wrong, but try to headbutt a goal in, soccer style.
Earlier, that's right.
Yeah, so
earlier, I remember that, yes.
During the Street Sharks
that would have been waved off as well, too.
Yeah, that would have been waved off. You can't headbutt it in Pele style, but...
No, exactly. Yeah. So there you go, a great game, 4-4 game, a very intense game between the Moose Assassins and the 5-minute major. Very well played, 4-4 tie, move on as well, too. So the X Division, you know, I think the Warriors stay number 1, Boogie stay number 2. You know, 5-minute major lost a point, they only had a tie. Untouchables lost a point, they only had a tie as well too. Street Sharks lost, so you know the 3, 4, and 5 seeds lost. 3, 4, and 5 weren't able to get wins today. How about that? Yeah. So the top 2 seeds clearly on 1 and 2 now.
Yeah, I think they're locked in, right?
I have to check. Yeah, make sure out there. So there you go. We have 1 more week left. Next week is the regular season for Rec out there. So next week is the last week. It'll determine the top 6 teams go in the DCHL Cup Rec division, Rec playoffs. The bottom 4 play for the TGIS Cup. So next week is going to be a crucial. We can figure out who's going to go with bracket as well too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any thoughts on next week and what you may see?
It should be an exciting week. You know, a lot of the games are going to be very crucial for seeding wise, and you know, I don't know. As a team, do you want the lower seeding? Do you want the higher seeding? With all this parity, it almost doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So,
but the one thing is you want the top 2. The top 2 to get the bye. Yeah. You want that. So if the Boogies and the Warriors are locked in, they get the bye. They get the game off because the 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5. And then they got to play the same day again against the 1 and 2 seed. So the 3 through 6 teams have a disadvantage. The top 2 seeds have an advantage. Right. They get the bye.
But then again, there is the danger of having the bye and then being a little rusty.
Well, but the bye is that same day. So
okay, it's
you play the same day. Yeah. So
all right, I'm thinking NFL.
No week off overall. Okay. So there you go. There you go, folks. At Rec Division wrap up here for week number 7 for the Rec Division side. We will see you next week for the final week of the regular season for the Rec Division. Greenback Boogie shirt as well too. Overall, there you go. Overall, and I want to remind players out there. Please don't. I'm going to remind you one more time. I'm not going to no more warnings out there. Please don't take Clareton D. Don't make me ban you from a playoff game in the DCHL, you know, Hank. So, you know, just go out there, watch what you take supplement-wise. No Clareton D, please. Nothing else like that, and I would appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you in next week with the regular division recap. We have 1 more recap to go. Yep. Later on, it's going to be the Pro Division playoffs, currently happening right now. Yep. We're going to go watch it, referee it, score it. We'll see you momentarily here with the Pro recap.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.